Welcome, welcome. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I'm usually never late, but I was finalizing a video. Somebody asked me to do a video on Neville Goddard's knot technique. You know, when he asked people to write out, I will not climb a ladder. And people would serendipitously find themselves in circumstances where they actually needed to climb a ladder. So somebody asked me just to do a video on it, and I did. You should go watch it after. But after, we have a lot of topics for today, and I just want to make sure I go through everything that came in. It was a big week for everybody, especially in the United States. A lot of mindset and mental unraveling, and we need to just stay focused and talk about whatever came up inside of you and how you're going to handle it and how you need to focus on your own life, and just make sure that you understand that the power to affect the collective consciousness and the events that happen in the world is almost zero for us individually. But the power for us to affect our own life is almost 100%. So where are you going to focus? That's what my content is all about. I try to keep everything very inspirational. I want everybody to keep their head up, to look forward into the future. The best days are ahead, 100% ahead. If you guys don't know me, my name is Mona. I've been around this app doing consistent work for about 1.5 years. I work with a group of people, it's mostly women, on mindset and manifestation. Manifestation, not that something ritualistic or something we have techniques for, but it's really about bringing our mind into alignment with our goals and manifesting everything else, manifesting from there. So we're just changing the core and everything unfolds from there. That's where we're at. All right, how are you guys doing? Nobody's saying anything. On the Facebook group, I asked my following, the people in my group, to buy or procure a bell, like either a physical small bell, which I bought, or just the sound of a bell that you can play on your phone, because we're going to use this during the new moon meditation in December. We're going to set our goals. So what we're working on this month with the group is refining our goals for 2025, making sure they're in alignment with who we are. So for example, if my goal is to run $1 million business, okay, what I'm doing this month is I'm checking myself against this goal, right? I'm checking myself against my goal to see inside, am I far apart from here, and what work will I need to do? And I'm asking for inspired goals that will take me one step closer in that directions. Okay, so sometimes we need to do this work step by step. Some people are just setting this goal and just sitting on it and thinking the business will magically open itself, the paperwork will magically just appear, a lawyer will contact them to open their business, etc. It doesn't work like this. We would still need to work in 3D to make it happen. So I want you guys, if you're working with my group, if you're working on the mindset, we had an amazing testimonial over the weekend from somebody who has been in my group since I want to say summer of 2023, and then how her life did a 360, not 360 because that's back to the same point, a 180, and it's just incredible. And her conclusion was what I've been teaching, right? But everybody needs to come to this conclusion individually. Her conclusion was, Mona, when I actually pivoted, I didn't have to do anything else. Everything else was just, I got invited to this conference, and I defined the box of men that I would date, and all of a sudden I met like 14 of them, etc., and it's just really inspiring to watch. That's why I created this group, and it's really inspiring for everybody else. But everybody's story is individual, okay? And I reposted a video that I did last year in which somebody was asking an incredibly pertinent question. The question was, why is it that some people, without doing anything, without meditating, without doing the work on themselves, they're able to call into existence whatever it is they want? They're able to pull from the formless substance, I want a new car, and I'm envisioning this car, and that's the car I'm gonna get. Or they walk past the dealership and 2 months later they have it. And this person who asked this question has a friend for whom things seem to happen that way. Okay? And so my response was, I don't want anyone to think that because you are doing this work, because you're working on yourself, because you're spending 2 hours meditating. Because you're doing all the stuff, the universe now pays attention to you and rewards you with your goal. Okay, so if you think this way, if you think because you're doing the meditation, because you're doing the journal, because you're working with our group, because you're doing the 60-day challenge, because you're reading all these books, the universe now is like, hey, here's a spiritual person. This spiritual person will be rewarded with the car of their dreams. No, it has nothing to do with that. The universe does not care about the work you're doing on yourself. All this work and stuff is done by you to reconnect to the formless substance. You're the one that must approach the universe, not the other way around, right? So what happened to manifest what you consciously want, right? So we're never disconnected from the formless. We talked about this. We're in the soup of things. But to connect your conscious desires and conscious wants is work. To put those conscious wants into your subconscious and move them as intentions into the formless substance is work. And it's more work for some than for others. When you meditate, when you do all this work on yourself, this is what you're doing it for. You're not meditating to get a car. You're not meditating to get a husband. You're not meditating. All of this stuff is added to you, is added in your life, will naturally come in your life once you're able to communicate this. So when you see a person who's not doing much, you don't even think they're really a good person. But exactly what they say they're going to do, they do. It happens for them. Do you guys know anyone like that? Do you guys know anyone like that in power right now in the world? Okay? It happens for them because it is so clear in their mind, in their identity. There's no doubt. There's no doubt, right? What do we call all those doubts that we have? Limiting beliefs. And depends. You might have 1 million limiting beliefs. They might have 0, or nobody has 0, but they might have 5. They might not have so many. So this is why it happens. Don't ever compare yourself to somebody else in the manifestation journey. Pay attention if somebody is manifesting whatever it is that you want to manifest. Let's say, you're manifesting something very specific. Somebody left a comment on my video. I was manifesting exactly an 80% passing mark, 89% a passing mark on a certain exam, like 89, because they wanted to be very specific. And then their brother, who was taking an exam, not the same exam, but a similar exam, got that exact mark. So pay attention when this happens. This only means it's working. But what can happen is, like we talked about in the last few videos, in the last few lives, the cords that you have with people are important. And via these cords, your manifestation may go to them. Okay, and he said, it was my brother, I didn't mind, he got a good mark. Yeah, okay, you didn't mind, but the cords are not necessarily with the people we love. The cords could be with the people that we have any strong feelings for, any strong past with, any unresolved trauma with. Okay, your ex may get that $1 million that you I don't put ideas in your head, but it could happen if you have a cord, if you have a connection. So this is why in religion, what do they always talk about, and I advise everybody to do this, is you have to forgive and let go. You have to forgive and let go of everybody. This is why really forgiveness is for you to disconnect from them. Crystal says, why would something bad happen to a person in our reality? I'm not sure what kind of question it is. Anything that happens to a person has to do with that person. It's not you. Contrary to whatever they told you online, you are not God. You cannot manipulate every single person and every single happening in your reality. You don't have that power. We're not designed this way. We're not designed to effectuate anything. I done a video, Crystal, it's called Why You Should Not Help. And it went a little viral, but I think people who put comments in there, they said it makes a lot of sense. And the video was about, basically do not interfere with another person's evolution in consciousness. Consciousness evolves through 2 things. And we talked about it many times with my group. I don't know how many people from my group are here, but this is a game of evolving consciousness. Does anybody know what those 2 things are? Both of 2 things are required in everybody's life. In everybody's life. Anybody? Love and pain, exactly. Consciousness evolves through love and pain. Both of them are required in everybody's experience on earth. How much love and how much pain can be individually skewed and can be individually controlled via this work, via not just this work, via devotion, right? Because all of these are practices via yoga, via meditation, via kindness, via dedicating your life to others like Mother Teresa. All of these can be regulated this way, but you have to come to that conclusion yourself. That's the drama of life, right? Everybody needs to come to that conclusion yourself. If something bad happens to somebody you love, forget the part that they have a lesson in this, right? But you also have a lesson in pain. You also have a lesson. You will have lessons in love and pain. Do not come to this work and say, hey, if I just do this work, if I just manifest, even if I just pray to God, my life, nothing bad will ever happen to anybody in my reality or to me. That's not it. That's not it. What will happen is you will evolve, and then less and less of the circumstances will bother you. Oh my God, I'm saving this one. Are your parents bakers? Because you're a cutie pie. Thank you. I really, really appreciate all your comments and the good words that you have for me. Good words that you have for me. It's not necessary. We stick around to the topic, which is mindset and manifestation. So the Facebook group, the bell, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to use the bell. Okay. When we do our meditations together every Wednesday night, we're going to use the bell, and we're going to use it in a certain sequence. Now, there's a lot of evidence that bells and the sounds of bells dispel sort of concentrations of energy. They used to say in religion, oh, they make the demons go away or what have you. But what they do really, the sound, the vibration of the sound, what it does is it dispels any concentrated energy that tends to linger. So I want everybody, if possible, to procure a physical bell. I posted one that I got from Amazon. I think it was like $12 or something like this. It looks like an old-fashioned bell. I liked it. I bought that one. But I'm sure you can find one at the dollar store or anywhere. Keep in mind your goals. I also want to mention every live that I have scammers. Every creator has scammers. And if you get a message from me, it's not from me. I never message anyone. I don't send group emails. I don't do any of that stuff. So if you need me, you need to contact me. It doesn't work the other way around. If you get a message from me in your inbox, I never message anyone. All right. For the last few lives, I've been recommending books that I think are going to help you guys. And this week's book is Infinite Possibilities, okay, by Mike Dooley. And this book is, honestly, it's a gem. And I told you guys, the way I read books is I highlight, I bookmark, right? Like I make my own notes on it. And these are the types of books you can't read once and put them away. So what you need to do is sit there when you're focused, when you're concentrated, and go through the book and highlight and underline whatever it is that is pertinent to you. It's a thought pattern. So this is like sort of what my pages would look like. Things that I might have known already, but it's really reinforcing. Remember, the way you learned how the world works, which is incorrect, was through repetition. People repeated it to you. Your teachers repeated it to you. Certain things in 3D kept happening, and that reinforced it. And now you need to reinforce it the other way. You need to reinforce it by putting inside your mind the ideas that you want, that are beneficial to you, that you want those ideas to be there. Okay, so basically I'm going to read just a few things from here, just to see. All right. It doesn't matter where you were raised and what religion you have. I don't think this information is anti-religion. You can keep practicing your religion. I don't think that understanding an ability that you have and understanding that your thoughts affect reality have anything against God, right? Like, it's just a feature we have. Like, it's a feature that we can walk. So if I have a feature, and if I make that connection between that feature and my ability to function in this world, do I have the right to use this feature? It's not even a question to me, but some people question whether or not I have the right. You know, it's really like, to me, it's really interesting because a lot of the religious community from any religion, they're saying, they're not saying this thing is woo-woo, you know, they're not saying actually, oh no, this doesn't work. What do you know, these people are crazy. They're saying it does work and that we're not allowed to use our thoughts to create a better world and a better personal world. And it's to me, I can't back that up. I can't even counter that argument because the argument is so anti-nature, in my opinion. And I really don't understand how you can make an argument that if I have an ability, if it was kept from me, like if I can see, I shouldn't read. If I can walk, I shouldn't run. I don't understand that. Like, how can they substantiate God? It's like, yeah, your thoughts can affect reality, but it's from the devil. What do you mean? It's a feature of my apparatus. My apparatus being my physical body, my astral body, my energy matrix. So what are you talking about? Like, how can parts of me be from a side that's not my creator? It doesn't make any sense. All right. So this book, okay, I think I'm going to read it again this week, just, you know, or skim read it. Because I read it a few times years ago, but it's a really good, it's introductory, it's very easy read, but it's also, it will give you the big perspective that you need. All right. So he's making the argument that once you understand that life is an adventure, you have both the right and sort of the obligation to maximize your adventure through time and space. So he's saying, first, understand the adventure. As an analogy, you wouldn't try to drive a car until you first understood how it operates and the rules of the road. Secondly, begin living the adventure. To draw from the same analogy, once you've learned about the car, the road, it still remains up to you to get in the driver's seat, turn the key, put it in gear, and go. In other words, apply your understanding, which, as I said earlier, is what you and I now have in common in this mission. Amazingly, most people seem to think that just because they're alive, they automatically know all there is to know about living. People just don't stop to think then that there might be more than what they already know. This is so true, right? Like, we finish school and we're like, we know everything we need to know. We know, like, there can't possibly be more. They can't, you know, I know, I get to work, I know how to do this, I know how to do all the stuff in 3D, and there isn't really anything else. Like, they basically think all there is to know is all the stuff they learn in school. I also find that really fascinating. So guys, no, thoughts become things, and our words and actions are merely our thoughts that are expressed. There was one more thing I wanted to read that I think is important to just to give you an overview of how good this book is. Okay, so this is the last one. Why haven't I won the lottery yet? You could fairly ask, well, Mike, if thoughts become things and it's predictable as gravity, then what about all those dreams of ours that have never seen the light of day? Why haven't I won the lottery yet? The first objection then is that there have been many things you've wanted in your life, things you badly wanted, things you perhaps thought about for months or maybe years that never came to pass. The answer is very simple. We never want just one thing, do we? Nor do we ever think just one thought. In fact, scientists now tell us that each and every day of our life, we can think more than 60,000 unique thoughts. 60,000 unique thoughts. Well, whether you're thinking this many thoughts, isn't there a possibility, even a likelihood, that some of our thoughts may contradict one another and even be mutually exclusive? For example, you might yearn to be the top spot on a corporate ladder, thinking about it month in and month out, year in and year out, visualizing the corner office, imagining yourself making big decisions. But at the same time, you're thinking these thoughts. You come home from work each day and greet your spouse with, "No one at work has any idea how valuable I really am. No one at work truly appreciates the difference I could make." Then all those thoughts must also also do what thoughts do. Strive to become part of your reality. So the person who thinks is underappreciated typically becomes underappreciated, which is not a very good place to be if you see yourself climbing. Indeed, there are subtle nuances affecting your manifestation that may lead some outcomes to seemingly have an upper hand over other outcomes. Yet, these nuances can be summed up in 3 words: your other thoughts. It's a really good book. You should get it. Okay, so this is what we talk about a lot, right? We talk about how can we make our thoughts on what we want the dominant thoughts. And the way you do that is by self-analysis of your existing thoughts. So you cannot start this work with, this is what I want. This is what I want. I'm going to think about the $1 million, the husband, whatever people want. You cannot do it that way. Because first you got to understand, what is it that's prevented you so far to get there? Because you've always had the same desires, right? The desires come from our higher self. It's our desire of expression. It's our desire, unless they're desires from the world, which is like some people pick up those desires. But in general, people are saying, I wish I didn't have a 9 to 5. I want to be a painter, or I want to meet a husband and be a stay-at-home mom, or I want a career. I want something else, right? But you got to analyze this in terms of which ones are mine, that match with me, and which ones are imposed by society, or imposed by circumstance, or imposed, for example, I know a housewife, she has a lot of potential, and she'd love to express that potential further, but the circumstances right now are that she can't do it, right? So while she's like, I'm staying grateful that all my needs are met and everything's taken care of, and etc., she's not up to her potential, and that shows. It shows for her within herself. And what happens is, gratitude is an instruction. So while she's staying grateful, really what's happening is she's giving the universe instruction. Remember, the universe doesn't need your gratitude. The universe is neutral. Gratitude is an instruction of, give me more of that. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be grateful, right? Because people, when they're not grateful, they have disdain for a certain circumstance. That's also an instruction to destroy the circumstance. So you're walking very thin ice in between creative thoughts and destructive thoughts. But the bottom line is, it's only destructive to you. The universe, for the universe, all of your thoughts are creative. Okay? Infinite Possibilities. Yeah, the name of the book, Infinite Possibilities by Mike Dooley. I think it is this pretty old book. I would say it's been around for at least 15 years. It has all the basic concepts in there, but it's written in a beautiful way. And I don't mind reading it, even though I think I know all these concepts. When you read something again and again, it always sedimentizes more in your mind. This information needs to be reviewed on a daily basis. Because otherwise, 3D is so powerful, it will just swallow you back in. You see how easy it is to have an event in the world and all your attention to be captured by that. And you're like, what happened to my life? Who put me in this rattled mood? What's going on with me right now? And all of a sudden your whole feed goes a certain way and your whole mood changes. You have to constantly review your feed. Review the negative, the positive. What is it? Are these thoughts serving you? So when I was single, I'm married now, I'm remarried. When I was single, I noticed that a lot of my feed was confirming sort of why I'm single, and why I should be single. And it's not until you get into that mindset of, hang on a second, but just because whatever is coming up on my feed is a reality for people doesn't mean it has to be my reality. This is crazy to get to this conclusion, to look at your feed and be like, shit, everything in my life is unfolding according to this feed. I'm having the same experiences as these people, but that's only because that's what I'm focusing on. And if you look at your feed, this is an easy way to identify what you're currently focused on, right? You're currently focused on positive or negative. Are these, whatever you're focused on, helping you get closer to your goal or taking you away from your goal? And when I realized that, it's just, you got to understand that everything we get in life is at some point a decision. It's either a decision that we're going to get it, or it's just simply the steeping into whatever current state you have. It's very difficult to come out of our current state. Very, very difficult. Don't let anyone tell you this work is easy. Oh, guys, I just changed my mind and it's easy. To not think the same thoughts that you were thinking yesterday is very difficult. It takes work. It takes practice. It doesn't take reading a book. It doesn't take listening to a podcast. It takes understanding self, looking around, analyzing your actions. Ask yourself why you do things the way you do, why you think things the way you think. Stop thinking that you know the truth. I know everything there is to know. I know, I'm feeling the correct actions, the correct thoughts, the correct feelings. Are you really? Stop question. If you don't question yourself, you're only going to get more of yesterday, right? Because nothing's changing. And by the way, when nothing changes, this doesn't mean nothing changes. It means it goes the other way. Right? Every system, no system of energy, and everything is a system of energy. No system of energy is ever staying the same. It's either evolving or devolving at any given point in time. You're stagnant for a very short period of time. Afterwards, you're evolving or you're devolving. So if you're honest with yourself, based on the feelings that you have today, based on the actions that you have today and where your mind is at, would you say you're evolving or you're devolving? You have to be very honest with yourself when you ask yourself this question. It's okay to be like, I feel like I'm devolving and I want to get out of this state and I don't know how. But you can't get out of the state without first acknowledging where you're at. Just like you can't get to France if you don't know where in the hell in the world you are right now. You can't, because you don't know what you need to do. You don't know what the space is in between these two things. I've been talking nonstop, so I just want to see what I missed in terms of your questions and comments, and then I'm going to read some of the stuff that you guys have sent me. Yeah, the feed is the algorithm. What you focus on, you'll experience. What if you're stagnant for 4 years and it is due to fear? Yeah, it is due to fear. It is due to fear and its derivatives, right? I feel I am devolving after experiencing a major disappointment. Yes, you've identified with the disappointment. You've identified with the fact that things like that happen to people like you. And so the moment you identify with the disappointment, you can't move on, right? All the fear internalizes, more of those disappointments come through. This is easily understood when people have really bad dating experiences, but it's the same experience over and over again with different people. They've internalized it. They're like, this is the kind of thing that happens to people like me, as opposed to being like, I don't know what happened to that guy. He probably died on the way home. I don't know. He hasn't called me again. Very few people can sincerely think that, right? They think it's personal. Nobody likes me. So the key there, I can't remember who asked this question, but the key there, Kelly, is to completely disidentify with the experience, right? That's just something that happened. It has nothing to do with you. I think I fear my power or potential because I know what to do, but I don't do it. It's not necessarily that you fear your power and potential. It's that your sense of self now, depending how strong it is, every energetic system fights for its existence. Your old self does not want to go away. It's not going to go away without a fight. It's not the procrastinator part of you, the lazy part of you, the part of you that's self-loathing maybe. All this part of you has an identity and it has an energetic structure, a form, an actual form. And it's not just saying, oh, okay, you want to replace me with a highly motivated person and a person who's like, why would I leave? Why would I leave, right? So the mindset, the work has to do with will, spirit over mind. Say mind over matter. That's all we're taught, right? So if you want to lose weight, it's mind over matter. You just eat less. You force yourself to go to the gym. That's mind over matter. But there's another kind of thing. That's spirit over mind. Spirit over thought. Spirit, your will, your higher self. Whatever it's willing will need to destroy the mental patterns that are creating what is. Let's see. I feel total apathy, feel stagnant due to being pulled in potential different directions. Same thing. This happens to a lot of people who don't know where they're going in life. Okay, you don't know what you want. You're like, you gave up on shaping your own life. So right now you're just on the script. And if you don't have clearly defined goals, and if you don't know where you're going in life, I'm gonna tell you where you're going. You're going wherever the collective consciousness is going. Look at your algorithm feed. That's where you're going. You're going, right? Because the universe, which is a neutral machine and is technology. I'm not talking God. I'm talking the universe, the neutral machine, God, the neutral machine, the universe, and us. The neutral machine will carry you. It has to unfold your life on its script. What script is it going to use? The script that requires the least amount of energy. What script will require the least amount of energy? The script of the majority. That's where you're going. I love how you talk no BS. Your stuff helps me a lot. I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah, no BS, no fillers. Let's see. We have so many comments today, okay? Thank you guys. How do you move past fear that you know is protecting you at the same time as is holding you back? It's just by realizing that it's not protecting the you that you want to be. It's just protecting what is. Okay, it's protecting the energy system that's in place, the identity that was formed based on your past experiences, which are probably traumatic, to now. That's what it's protecting. It's not protecting the successful, loved, recognized, respected you. That's not what it's protecting. It's protecting itself from becoming that. So stop telling yourself that it's protecting you. I think it's a numbers game. Bad date, good, closer to my love match. Yeah, it's just a numbers game and it has nothing to do with you. That's why I tell you guys, stop it with the high value dates and he's got to take me on a high value date. If you're a high value woman, you don't have 3 hours to get to meet somebody, see if you're attracted to them. I don't have. I did that once. Turned out it was a guy I could never touch. A very nice guy, just, lied about age, lied about height. It just generally mannerism wasn't there. And I was like, why did I spend 5 hours of my life on this? 3 hours on the date, driving there, doing my hair. It doesn't make sense. I meet with people like 20-minute coffee to see alignment of person and profile. That's it. And then you can ask me out if we both like each other. Okay, so then you don't feel rejected because you didn't spend like 3 hours eating with someone just to see that they never call you again, or get a bill at the end and it be embarrassing, or all of the stuff. Why put yourself through that experience? I don't have time. I don't have that kind of time. My time is my most important asset, right? I need to see, hey, what's going on first. I'm deciding if I like someone enough to spend 3 hours with them. So it's very, very different mindset, different way of looking at things. Do not think that just because you heard enough time, you got to go on a high value date. That's something the world is telling you. You got to have critical thinking, analytical thoughts about you and how you can minimize the impact. On my YouTube channel, I have a playlist. It's called The Feminine Queen. And I did 2 videos on online dating. By the way, I got married from online dating. And I did this process with the minimum amount of time impact and emotional impact, because it's just a process, not the process of getting married, the process of meeting a good partner of the online dating. Do you have any tips on how to cut the obsession from a narcissist? His obsession or your obsession with him? Hi Mona, I appreciate your not video. Oh man, that's a triggering one. I just did it. Huh? Now you know. Let's see. You are the first one to explain how it relates to God. Yeah. I have video on God, your beliefs in God. All of this will influence, because they're all like your fundamental beliefs about the world. If you love God, if you hate God, if you have guilt towards doing something that's not part of the religion that you were taught, some people say manifestation is witchcraft, but really what it is getting your mind together and focusing your life in the direction that you want to go, and deciding you don't want to go with the collective consciousness. The collective consciousness is not going anywhere good right now, right? We know that it's not going, but they're gonna go in that direction. You can't stop them. You can't stop them. You can just decide if you're going to be relaxing and being part of it and being like, I'm going to float on the river of collective consciousness wherever it takes me. Or if you're going to be, for me personally, this life is going to be about A, B, C, and D. Not, I'm going to change the world to A, B, C. If you want to change the world, you have to dedicate your whole life to the world, okay? Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, that kind of style, Gandhi, okay? If you dedicate, then you'll be able to effectuate changes in the world, but not while at the same time living your life, okay? So if you're not gonna be Mother Teresa, then focus on your focus and your goal. And I wanna tell you something. When you evolve your consciousness, what you're dumping into the formless and into the collective is positivity, okay? You don't have the time and really the right, if you're on the spiritual path, to stay in an angry state. You're not allowed, okay? Because when you do that, you're damaging, you're adding more negativity in the game. You, if you consider yourself spiritual or on a path of growth, you have an obligation to the rest to carry as many people from behind as possible by dumping whatever energetic system you have in a positive form into the collective. What about the SP? Can we change them by focusing on the end, or should we manifest our ideal relationship? Manifest your ideal relationship. I say that in my Manifest SP playlist. I also have a video there on how I thought of my own SP and how I manifested the whole idea of it. Really, I don't agree with people entrapping other consciousnesses to be with them. And the energy, it might work sometimes via different mechanisms we don't have time to get into now, but I got into a lot of other times I explained it. It's not going to last. All spells eventually unravel. The only thing that lasts is if you are able to have the vortex of energy inside of you spin differently, organize information differently. And because right now, let's say it's spinning this way, and you want it to spin this way or at this speed, okay? What happens is this spinning you learned by doing nothing, just by being yourself and just by reacting to the world for whatever age you are, right? For 25 years, 35 years, 55 years. Now, to undo that and make it spin in a more organized fashion, how much work you gonna think you need to do? Do you think it's like writing in your journal one day? That will make some difference. But you gotta wrap up your mind to be like, no, I want a different result. And it's crazy for me to expect a different result when I'm doing the same thing over and over again. And obviously the younger you are, the better it is, right? Because this is a lot less to undo. But it doesn't mean you can't do it if you're older. It just means you need more focus to do it. You like Warcraft. I don't play video games. I don't have time for that. I don't watch TV. Online dating can be great. You just have to be intentional with it. I agree. And by the way, online dating should not be called dating. You don't date anyone until you meet them in person and you both decide you want to go on a date. It should be called online process of meeting people you otherwise you wouldn't have access to. That's all it is. Okay, so the question about the narcissist, my obsession with the narcissist, I understand dynamic, but the feeling's still there. Yeah, so now you got to unpack yourself and understand what is it in your energy system that's attracted to that kind of behavior and to that kind of treatment. Because in essence, the strong feelings that you have for him is because you are identifying there's something familiar to what he gives you that your system likes, even though you in your logical mind know you're not treated well, etc. But there's something in his behavior that your system likes, that your energetic system, that not necessarily that it likes, that it's familiar. And everything that's familiar, like our brain's job is to keep us in the familiar. It's not to propel us forward into success, into taking risks, into being alone, into doing all these things. The brain keeps you safe by keeping you into the familiar. So now you need to unpack yourself and be like, what is it about me that identifies with this behavior, right? With somebody, let's say, not calling you, but you jump when they call you back. Because see, where I'm at now, I would not ever reply if somebody, like said, oh, hey, I've been busy for the last 2 weeks. They wouldn't receive a reply. it doesn't work. Like, I would be like, why would I reply? But it wouldn't be something I'll force myself not to reply. I would be like, this is strange, like somebody writing you after 2 weeks that they were busy. Do you believe in soulmates? No. I've been staying in a thankful mindset, but no changes. You need to do way more. Do the 60-day challenge in my bio. Do something that disciplines your mind on a daily basis. Nothing should be forced, correct? Nothing should be forced, but everything should be understood first. And then you can change it. What should we do after identifying our limiting beliefs? We talk about this in the group a lot. So when you identify limiting beliefs, which by the way is not going to take you 3 days, you're gonna find that you have a lot, and you're gonna go through them. After you identifying your limiting beliefs, you will force their change via both mindset and action. So for example, many things should change about you as you drop your limiting beliefs, right? When somebody cuts you off on the street, I give this example a lot because it used to happen to me when I was younger, and I would be like, oh, F you, what a bad driver, what an asshole, what a this. What is it that in a stranger's behavior can trigger this emotional response in me? That person doesn't hear me when I curse at them. Only the people in the car hear me, right? I'm only damaging myself and the people in the car. So why am I having this violent vomiting response over somebody else's actions? Maybe they were in a hurry, maybe somebody died, maybe it doesn't really matter, right? But I'm saying when I understand that everything in me is dictated by a program, I'm just observing these behaviors and I'm switching I'm making a different choice consciously. Even though at first I feel like cursing him, I won't. And then the next time I also won't, because I decided not to. And what happens in time, that feeling subsides. Like now somebody cuts me off and it's not even in my mind that they may be an asshole. I just slow down. Like it doesn't matter to me at all. You understand? But that doesn't come overnight. You need to make the same decision over and over again 100 times for that pattern to fire differently in your brain. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about it on a more scientific level, right? It's about rewiring your neurons. Is it fair to try to teach my friends and family what I learn? I love to share it, but fear intruding. I think you can talk about it generally and their openness to it. If they say, teach me, you should teach it, but you should never impose this information on anybody. Do you believe in long distance relationship? This is highly personal, highly depends your age, why you're in this long distance relationship. If the person had another choice and chose to be in a chose to leave, it all depends. What I don't believe in is people thinking they have a relationship with somebody across the world that they never met. Do you know I have coached women who, to my absolute shock, they're in love with men that they never met in person. This is a very unnatural emotional formation that people should stop doing. Okay, and they're in these relationships. They talk to these people on a daily basis. And what happens is when you don't see someone in real life and you don't go through the regular things that we observe, the small gestures, the mannerism, they go to the bathroom, they clean up after themselves, the way they open the door for you, they make a meal. What happens is when you don't observe these things, you don't really know who they are. We're observable, like the small things is what makes a person in the end, right? So all you do is just you chat with them about your day, they chat with them to you about their day, and what you're doing is you're building a person in your mind that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and you're making these assumptions that they're gonna behave a certain kind of way based on your thought pattern. And mostly what happens is these relationships, they crash and burn, but which is not a problem that they crash and burn. The damage that they leave inside of you because you lost this idealized version of a man that you're thinking you can't replace anymore it's devastating, right? Because if the relationship didn't work out with the guy in real life, you're like, oh, anyways, I didn't like the way he did this and this and this and that. But because you didn't have a chance to observe that, now it's a disaster in your heart, because your brain is making the assumption, it's made a construct. It's making the assumption he would have done all the stuff. So anybody you meet in real life now, it can't live up to that love that you have, that internet love. Guys, don't do internet love, okay? Don't mistake a long distance relationship with a relationship of, because you know your husband's in the army, with a relationship of you just met somebody, start chatting with them online. That's not real. Let's see if there's anything else I want to. This happens in real life with online dating early stages. I never spoke to someone if I couldn't meet them within a week. Okay? You don't talk to somebody more than a few days without setting up a coffee date. It's a red flag if you can't, if they're not available. If somebody says, oh, I'm going on a business trip, no problem. Contact me when you come back and we can continue the conversation. We're not going to talk between now and then. I'm not going to get to know somebody online just to find out they're 10 years older in real life. They got a beer belly and, they're 5 inches shorter than me. No thanks. I want to read a couple of things that I got that I think I read these things if I feel they're pertinent for the group. So bear with me for a bit. I don't have too many for today. Let's see. Hello? What's happening here? Okay, so I did a video on manifestation blunders, basically things that you say and they come literally. Like, when I was manifesting a certain wedding ring, and I'm thinking a husband, right? But I found that exact same ring in the parking lot. It was just crazy. And then I put a comment on this video and said I did end up manifesting my ideal husband after this by fine-tuning my concepts and requests and dropping limiting beliefs. And somebody puts this comment on mine. I manifested my husband by writing a romantic novel, not intending at manifesting my husband, but obsessing over the character of the man. When I met him, he was identical to my character. It was crazy amazing. I just laughed. And then I said, yes, it happens consciously or not. It happens consciously or not, whatever we focus on. Good thing you didn't obsess over a villain. Okay. Be careful who you obsessed about. But this is exactly what she's talking about. Is a different, I didn't manifest mine that way, but because I manifested mine consciously, but she's manifesting hers unconsciously by writing a romantic novel, not intended at manifesting a husband, but just obsessing with the character. Be careful of your obsessions. Be very careful of your obsessions, of what you think about. We generally obsess with things we hate. We see that in the world now, right? Do not have obsessions in your mind. Okay? You have to be indifferent to the majority of things that unfold in the world. I know this sounds incredibly cruel, but I'm telling you, if you want to have a good life. Anna says, that happened to me once too while reading a book. I manifested a boyfriend very similar. Yeah, exactly. So, all of these are success stories, guys. It doesn't matter if it was good for you or bad for you or impactful for you. It's a success story. You need to make the connection. I thought this, I obsessed over this, I read this, it spoke to me, and I manifested this experience. And if the experience is bad, learn from it. Learn from it like, hey, oh my God, I got to be careful with my thoughts. I got to be careful with my mind. Because if I'm not careful with my mind, this may happen. Right? And if it's a good experience, obviously it's a good experience, but whether or not it's a good experience, it's still a success story. Mark it as a success story. Do you know how lucky we are? Anybody in this audience, me, myself, that we know these things, that we're convinced of these things. Think about how many people, sometimes I get angry only when I think, how come this information wasn't presented to me when I was 10 years old, 15 years old? My life would have been completely different. It would have saved me from a lot of pain, not all pain, like we discussed, but a lot of pain, a lot of things that were confusing. I would have been propelled a lot further, because if only I was taught to make this association, okay? Every time you can associate a thought with something that came to pass, that's a success story. And label it as such. Is a success story as to the growing of your consciousness, as to the evolution of your consciousness. Okay. let's see. Thank you, Mona, for sharing your work with everyone who comes across it. I find very inspirational. What you say resonates deeply. I recently started your 6-day challenge. Before that, I was watching your content on TikTok and YouTube. I decided that I wanted to earn $2,000 per week consistently with my part-time work. And within the first week, I made that money easily and effortlessly. I even manifested the green car with the number 4 in the license plate that you've mentioned in one of your videos. I felt like I was on a roll. This week, I feel like I got too distracted with the 3D and I haven't had as great as a success. But I know what I must do to realign myself. I need to pay attention to only myself and what I want, ignoring what is around me. I'm not on Facebook, but I'll be doing this work on my own. I'll continue with your lives, etc. Thank you again. Okay. So what I like about the story is that she's not saying, I've done this and I manifested what I said I would manifest, but now it's no longer working. Never say it's not working anymore. What she's saying here, pay attention to this. This week, I feel I got too distracted with the 3D and I haven't had a great success. But I know what I must do. I need to pay attention to only myself and what I want, ignoring what is around me. Guys, this is a difficult lesson. If you don't learn this lesson, you're gonna yo-yo. You're gonna up and down based on the world. Something that happens in the world that aligns with what you want, oh, you're happy. Something happens in the world doesn't align with what you want, it puts you in a spin, in a depression, in an angerness. What are you gonna do? Right? Like, what are you gonna do? You gotta focus only on yourself. Only on your, and remember, because by focusing on your growth, you're actually contributing positively to others. What age did you start aligning with this mindset? I would say I had a really strange happenings, like really very literal manifestations in my early 20s. But when I think about it, I had them as a kid as well. And as a kid, I noticed, like, I'm remembering, I used to lie a lot, and I used to talk about things that, just basically making stories in my mind. And I used to tell the stories out loud. And what would happen is, even though I knew they were lies, they would end up coming true. And what I thought, based on religious programming, was that, well, my God doesn't want me to be a liar. And this is why he's making all the lies that I'm telling coming true, right? So I think I was naturally inclined towards this, and probably most children are. If you have children, if you're a mom, okay, I'm a mom, I teach my child this. From early age, don't say this. Don't be in this mindset. If you're angry, if you're hurt, quickly snap out of it. Don't ever say I'm stupid. Don't ever use I am. Whatever follows I am follows you. But I got really serious about this when I discovered Abraham Hicks, and I don't really listen to them anymore at this point, right? But everybody has a place in our journey, right? So I was listening to Abraham Hicks around 2014, and since 2014 I've completely changed my life in the direction of where I wanted to go. But it was constant work. And I didn't do the work discipline from the beginning, right? I slowly discovered more. I also feel like in this game, if you're sincere about it, if you're like, no, there's a different way of living life, and I'm going to seek out all the information that can help me go in that direction, then the game will slowly unveil to you. Right? It will slowly give you more and more access, but you will not go from 0 to 200 in the first week or month or whatever. So the key is you have to be sincere in your search. Okay? You have to have the attitude that you want to contribute. You have to have the attitude that I want to align with my higher self, with what I'm really fitted to do in this world. Not everyone is fitted to do the same things, to have the same careers, or to even have a career that way, like in the corporate structure. You have to find out who you are. And after you find out this, then you analyze your limiting beliefs, you do this. So this is ongoing work. It's ongoing work. What do I think about Abraham's teachings now? I think all of these teachings have a place. There's certain things that every teacher says that I'm not aligned with. This is all about discernment and personal truth. This is why it's constant work. It's not parroting. Oh, thank you. It's not parroting something back that somebody's saying. It's really be like, does this align with me or not, right? Like the concept of karma doesn't really align with me. And I think it's very problematic, in this life to contemplate that our life is a consequence of karma. It's very problematic, right? Because then through the prism of that thought, you can see the suffering of even children as deserving, right? Like they deserve that. That's their karma from their past life. So I just stay away from thoughts that mess me up that way, right? Karma does exist, I know, but I'm not basing anything on that concept at all. Karma can be dissolved. Please do not think about karma. Like if you're following my stuff, do not think about it, because I'm telling you, you're going to have cognitive dissonance, okay? How are you explaining the suffering in the world is going to give you, because you either believe it or you don't believe it. You either believe that we came here, we make the soul contract to experience something, and then, you know, oh yeah, that 5-year-old, that was their soul contract to experience that kind of pain and be abused and all this stuff. You can't go there in your mind. It's going to mess you up, right? It's going to mess you up with your heart, with your ethics, with everything. So whatever I find that it makes me think, gives me cognitive dissonance, I completely eliminate from my mind. If enough manage their thoughts, mass consciousness will follow. Yes, 100%. That's why I told you the only way you can contribute and you can change the world is individually. Let's see. Okay, I also did a video. I did a couple of videos on materializing and dematerializing objects, and I was saying that the objects that some people can create from 5D don't really stick around in our world. And I was just talking about it. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, it's very esoteric, but you can watch the videos. They're within the last 5-6 videos. So the screen says, I had the opposite. I was taking a thick hair scrunchie out of my hair. I felt as though it was being gently taken from me, felt that it dropped on the floor. I checked, I got my husband to check, no hair scrunchie. It bugged me. That evening I asked for it back, went to bed the next morning, it was in the middle of my bathroom floor. I felt like this was a message of sorts. That week I went into my house and a meditation of mine was playing on its own. So look guys, when you start doing this work, depending on how inclined you are, you got to pay attention to your skills and your abilities, okay? Because some people are more inclined to different aspects of this work than others. Whatever it is that you don't want, you have to clearly tell the system you don't want to explore. So the system will test you, will give you what is most naturally for you, for your energy system. Materializing, dematerializing objects, I don't want that. I don't want that for myself. I think it's freakish. It doesn't keep me in a good state of mind. I don't want to think of spirits or anything like that. And for me, it's like, I don't want to, you know, I don't know, throw my fingers and get a golden nugget. I don't want that. And so if you're clear with your instruction, remember, you have free will. You're in control. Whatever experiences you're having along the lines of this work, tell the system whether you want more of it or not. And you tell the system whether you want more of it or not based on your focus on it. Okay? This is why, you know, when they take those kids who have disabilities, and they take them to church to cleanse them of disabilities and stuff, those abilities kind of go away, because what that does really, it's like, it's telling the mind, do not think on this. This is not good. Do not contemplate it. Do not. So it's basically, do not feed it energy. Whatever you don't feed energy goes away on its own. Whatever you do feed energy grows, even if you hate that thing. Hello, even if you hate that thing. Not technique from Neville Goddard. If you pay attention to it, you feed it energy. That's what happens. Guys, I'm live I'm live every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The recordings of this are posted on my YouTube channel. If you miss it, I do take up questions if you guys email me, or if I find they're interesting for the group or contributing to everybody, not like something personal. This week in the Facebook group, we have a group coaching session where we take up more personal questions. We have that every 2 weeks. That's sort of all I have for today. The book of the week was Infinite Possibilities. I'm going to read this also this week. I feel your energy, attention is powerful. Yeah. All right, thank you for the gifts, guys. I appreciate the gifts, but honestly, I don't know how to, like, I'm in Canada, I don't get paid for views on TikTok. I checked my TikTok balance from all these gifts I've been receiving over the last 18 months or so. It's like a whooping, like, 30 bucks. I don't know how to take it out, and I'm not gonna give them my account information for 30 bucks. There's no way. So they're not necessary. That's the point. They're not necessary, but thank you so much. I really appreciate everything that you guys are sending to me. Do the work, okay? Do my 60-day challenge. Take the time to do the work on yourself. You gotta go somewhere, okay? I end all my lives with the tapping 369. I am a winner. This takes 30 seconds. If you don't want to do it, this is the end of the life, and I wish you a beautiful week. If you want to do it, one breath in. Sorry, I was on low battery. One breath in. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.